One of the things about the Final Fantasy VII Remake world I've been kind of mulling over in my head, and this kind of bleeds over to the original game too, and I've always kind of felt this about the Sephiroth character, is that when you look at the things he does, the things he did, the lives he kind of tramples over, and the life of the planet even, he doesn't care about anybody in his way, like a great villain should be, like a great unredeemable villain should be. Just trample over the lives of everybody in front of you and screw the cost. What you want is the main thing, and that's it. So if you look at Sephiroth in Final Fantasy VII, the things he does, and like, what is the planet going to be after all that, after this whole cataclysm and everything? I like to stop and think about where the planet is and all that, and maybe everything that happens in Final Fantasy VII's storyline, Remake, Rebirth, Part 3, the whole Remake saga, the original, all of it, everything that happens and no, I'm not saying this trilogy is a sequel, I'm not saying that, so stop right there, before you stop typing the comment, stop, that's not what I'm saying. It's a reimagining of the original story. When you get into what's the planet's role in all this, right? What if you look at Shinra and everything that happens with Shinra and everything that leads up to the development and the creation of Sephiroth and the soldiers and finding Jenova and all this other kind of stuff? Like, I think of a great line from George Carlin, right? He's like, he has said, if you don't know who George Carlin is, you should check him out. He said the planet maybe didn't need people like us, like Earth doesn't need us, but it needed plastic. So to get plastic, it had to make people that could make plastic. So once it has plastic, it can cover itself in plastic, and then it doesn't need us anymore, then we all just get wiped out, right? Like humans are an evolutionary catalyst for the planet. What if Shinra, Sephiroth, everything is all part of the will of the planet, right? It's an evolutionary catalyst for the planet in some way, to toughen it up, to strengthen its foundations, or whatever. Jenova, not planned by the planet. Jenova comes, boom, impact, starts taking out the Cetra, all that kind of stuff, and gets sealed away. The planet gives the Cetra the ability to seal Jenova away. But Jenova's still there, right? So we gotta get this out of the system. Gotta get the black life stream diluted. Gotta get it out of the system, right? So what if Shinra is allowed to be developed? The planet, is like, oh, look, you can use Mako as energy. Don't use too much of it, Now the planet's not talking to, Rufus or President Shinra or anything like that, but it's the ability to use Mako as energy is found, and someone's going to use that or whatever. They're going to dig and they're going to find. Eventually, they're going to come across Jenova, right? So, and then Sephiroth is developed and created from Jenova's DNA, and then everything Sephiroth's doing right now, exposing what he's doing in the story is exposing all these negative things, about Shinra, about the state of the world, everything. It's unifying everybody to show just how precious and fragile the planet really is, and needs to be strengthened. Destroying Sephiroth, the ultimate destruction of Sephiroth, I feel like it'll be this time. The ultimate destruction of Sephiroth, whether it takes another game to do it or whatever, a cleansing the life stream of the negative life stream, the black life stream, whatever they call it in the book, cleansing all that and getting that all out. What if that is all part of the planet's plan to evolve and to filter this stuff out? Like, when you think in terms of a planet, Earth, Gaia, whatever, it's unfathomable to us humans sometimes how old it is. Like the process of cleaning out the negative life stream, whether it's thousands of years or whatever, it's like a couple of years. It's like you got a 2 to 3 year plan as a person, right? That's kind of how long it is to the planet. This is, okay, we're going to start our 3-year action plan to get this thing taken care of, right, in our life. I'm going to be here, but then I'm going to be here. The family's going to be here, then the family's going to be here after this 3-year plan, right? This is the planet's 3-year plan, right? But it takes thousands of years. You know, it's unfathomable to us. But what if Sephiroth in Final Fantasy VII's storyline is an evolutionary catalyst? That would be wild, right? That would be absolutely wild. Like if Sephiroth is all part of the planet's plan, and that's why it's speaking to the people it can speak to. The planet, that is. I think that's a wild concept, and it takes into account, like, you know, showing Aerith things, showing Cloud things. Like, the remake saga expounds on this into a whole new light. It takes everything that we did in the original game, and if you look at it from the perspective of the planet being a character, like it was when you look at Final Fantasy VII Remake Saga, you really have to take into account that the planet is a character. It's easy to forget that sometimes. I know we're all conscious of it, that the planet's a conscious living entity. But if you characterize the planet and you look at it from that perspective, it changes the whole thing. And this is something I've really mulled around in my head for a long time. We haven't discussed it, but I think if you look at the planet as a character, you can see a plan there. And Sephiroth is a part, in my opinion, of that evolutionary plan. Now, he's gone off the rails, he's a little out of control, but again, that's why the planet has to put Cloud in a position, has to take Barret, Cid, Tifa, Aerith, all these other characters, and put them in positions for their plan to work, to take this guy out, to fix itself. It's all part of the plan, as the Joker said in The Dark Knight. It's all part of the plan. That's what's... I really feel like if you look at the planet as a character, Sephiroth is an evolutionary catalyst for change in the story. Change in human history very rarely takes place because of peace. It's usually because something horrible happens to make people wake up and realize, oh, we gotta change some things. That's what's happening in Final Fantasy VII. That's what happens to Shinra. That's what is happening to the other people who are kind of on the fence or not good people or whatever in the story. They get shaken out of this because of what Sephiroth is doing. And they start listening to the people of Cosmo Canyon. They start listening to some of the rebels that are in Avalanche. They start paying attention to what's going on to the world around them and realize, oh man, we might have effed up, you know. We might have to change what we're doing. And when we watch Advent Children, you get a sense that Shinra figured that out. You know, they figured that out, and other people around the world figured that out. And Sephiroth is absolutely an evolutionary catalyst, and a catalyst for change in a way that he does not intend. He is a piece of the puzzle. The planet is orchestrating this whole wave of evolution over the world. That's one way to look at it. Other way to look at it is, planet's screwed, it has no plan, there's no idea, it hopes everybody fixes everything. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed that little bit of speculation, that little theory about Sephiroth and being an evolutionary catalyst. Like I said, I've been sitting on that one for a while. I wanted to share that with you all. And again, like everything I do, it's kind of off the cuff. You know, I had intentions of doing like this big edit and all these things or whatever, and I just don't have time. Like, I had some of that stuff sitting on my computer, and I don't have time to finish those things. So I was like, you know what? We're just gonna go old school. We're gonna keep doing these old school, just like this. and because I just don't have time to do that other stuff. But anyway, I hope you appreciate it. I hope you enjoy it. And until next time, I'll catch y'all later. Have a great night. Be safe. Be good to each other. Keep rocking. I will see you all in the next video. Take care.